So, on our previous video, we saw how to create a three-dimensional grid where we can lay our blocks, and then we saw how to remove blocks and how to replace them with block airs and stuff like that. Now, if you remember, our world was pretty flat that way, and of course it was a little bit boring. So in this video we will see how to add two layers of noise, it's pretty much okay, so that we get a little bit more interesting a world. Okay, so as you can see, we will see that it immediately gives more character into our level, and of course we will have some values that we can tweak, and based upon how far how much we will tweak this, then which is basically the seed of our world. Okay, on later videos we might see how to create different how we can write all this into a string and write the seed and create a different world based upon the seed we give you. Okay, as you can see, results may vary a lot, and there's some other stuff you can do. Okay, so for this part we're mainly going to use it's going to be a pretty simpler one, and we're mainly going to use two different scripts and do some changes into our previous script. Now for the noise, we actually do not have to do a lot of stuff. For the noise, you will find a link in the description below with this script. Okay, this is not made by me. You can see all the credits for this and the license. Of course, it's free. It's a simple script that creates some noise patterns based upon the values, upon some values we pass to him and into its functions. Okay. Now the reason we're not writing our own is, as you see, if you see over here, you know that these are pretty much basic math calculations, so there's no point in making a video about this. Go into the link you will find in the description below and simply copy paste everything into a new script called noise. Okay, then we want to create a new script which we're going to call it world base, and we're calling it world base because our previous script where we called world, it's going to derive from this script over here. Okay, from our world base. Now let's see this this simple script. Now we want to use the namespace of simplex noise because we use this it already has the class. Okay, so we can access the noise, we can use this, we have to use the namespace. Now one thing I forgot to tell you is that of course there are many other noise implementations, and there are other tutorials you can see where you can add noise to your game or everything else you want to use. We do not use noise only for Minecraft games. Okay, noise is something you will see used pretty much a lot through different applications. So for instance, procedural texturing uses a lot of algorithms for noise. Okay, so as you can imagine, there are a lot of noise implementations you can use, and Unity also has its own implementation, but we want to use this since this is pretty much a 2D implementation. Okay, so let's go into our world-based script. We use the namespace of simplex noise. Now I want to use these variables, which is basically the seed of our world, as I mentioned. And of course you can add more floats, more parameters over here, and I'm going to explain it in a bit. Okay, so I want it to be inside a different class so that we do not have to, it's in a fold out into our inspector. Doesn't matter, pretty much matter where you want to use those. So we need a variable which is our noise frequency. Okay, we need the base height where we will going to start adding noise. Okay, the second layer of noise we will be adding, how much of elevation we will have in our world. Think of like mountains and stuff like that. Okay, and the frequency we will have an elevation too. So if you not understand exactly what this does, you can go into the scripts, into every of these variables. Okay, if you click play, you will see that it's going to create a new world after it loads, of course. Okay, so if I change something over here, let's make it so that it's something pretty small, and let's say 10. Let's give it an even smaller frequency, and if I hit play, now it takes a lot of time because I'm loading a lot of chunks at the same time. You see, playing with variables gives an entirely different solution or result. So let's go back into a script. So that way you can understand and you can see what everything does. Now we want a simple loop that is going to create our chunks per column. Okay, well, simple stuff. Okay, and then we create we call our generate chunk column, and then we return the chunk. Now this function is actually this constructor over here, and we will see it in a bit. So this is where we actually get our noise. Okay, so this script pretty much calls for a noise calls the noise generation based on the x, y, z that we are going to pass. And we add 1 to change, and we multiply all this from a scale, and then we pass all the variables we're going to need for our noise. So this is how we get our noise, and then we need to call our generate chunk, where basically we take every column of our world and we change it. We do changes to to its terrain, its elevation, or stuff like that. So we first need to find our height. We need to create the integer into a float. Okay, and then we need to apply the elevation based on the frequency. Okay, so we take our height and we pass get noise, all the variables, which is basically the x and the z. Okay, we pass the frequency, and then we pass the elevation we want to have. After that, we can apply noise. We can apply even more noise to this based on our second values, which is base noise and base noise height. If I comment this out, and I'm going to reset the values, and I'm going to drop my chunk prefab once again, and if I hit play, you'll see that it will give a different result, and I think it was pretty much the same because we have pretty small noise. If I give noise of 1, let's see what it will happen. You see that no matter how much base noise I give, we do not use it anywhere, so it doesn't apply. You can think of it as a second layer of noise, although it's not exactly that way. Okay, and after that we take each block from each chunk, okay, and then we compare its height. If it's lower than the height we produced in our noise script, then we're going to place grass. If it's not, then it's air, so that means we want to place a block of air, and then we simply return the chunk. Okay, pretty simple stuff, pretty simple script. Okay, doesn't have pretty much anything difficult. So the only thing we need to do right now is do some changes to our world script. Okay, so our world script will no longer derive from mono behavior, but instead it's going to derive from world base. Now, pretty much the stuff around here, I did changes over here. Okay, so change the values to whatever you want to have from our test, from the previous test stuff we had, and then on create chunk we had the for loop over here. Then we only need to create a new chunk, and since we derive from the world base, we can simply call the generate chunk, okay, and we pass the new chunk, and then pretty much all the other stuff is the same. So when we go over here and we press play, we will see that it's going to generate all of our world. And I think I forgot to uncomment this. Let's give it a different value. Let's give it something like 15 or 3. Let's change the frequency a little bit. Let's give it a 9. Now of course you can play how much you like over here. Now you will see that we have a different world altogether. Now of course in Minecraft you will see that not every block is actually a grass block, okay, and the way you can do it, that you can do to create new blocks instead of all of them being either grass or air, is by simply, if you add more variables over here, and then before creating those you can create a simple state machine or simple if and else statements that you check, and you can compare which one, at what height you want to have grass, at what height you want to have stone, or everything else that Minecraft has. Okay, it's pretty simple. You will do everything over here. And now, so this video is going to be significantly smaller than every other video, but anyway. So let's add some characters. We're just going to use the default standard assets. And let's wait until they load. Now, of course, these two videos we're going to use these videos as a stepping stone, and you can check in the description below. You will find some more links to other tutorials, okay, where they do some stuff a little bit different. It's all sources I've used to create our scripts over here. Now my main goal is not to create something exactly like Minecraft, but on later videos we're going to create something completely different, and you just have to wait and see what we're going to make. So we have our characters also. Let's create our world. And then, since we have our world, let's drop a prefab site. Let's not drop the roller ball. Let's drop the rigid body first person controller. Let's move it up. Let's close the previous camera. And then there you have it. And there I got stuck. So let's do that again. Or better yet, maybe let's change a little bit the values over here. And we will see. Well, that didn't do much. There you have it. Let's do it once again. Let's drop it some higher so that we do not get stuck again. And then, as you can see, we can move around. And of course, we can also add the logic into our controller that takes care of blocks. And since I've closed the previous camera, we cannot remove or add a new block. So that's basically it for this tutorial, for these 2 parts of our Minecraft videos. Now there are a lot of stuff I've left, but that's because as I said, it's not my main goal to create an actual Minecraft, exactly like a Minecraft game. Okay, because I want to break the parts. So for instance, crafting and inventory management, that can pretty much be its own series. So if somebody wants just that, he doesn't have to watch 2 videos creating Minecraft and procedural walls before. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also check the links in the description below, where you will find some more additional sources and tutorials for this part if you pretty much interested in voxels and procedural wall making, or pretty much a Minecraft tutorial. Check the links in the description below. And also, if you enjoy the videos and if you want to support me and create more videos like this, you can do so either with Patreon or with PayPal. It's fine by me. And also check the descriptions. In the description below you will find links where you can do just that. So I'll see you next time.